You feel different, not better, just heavier. You see through people. You feel alone because of it. That is not weakness. That is strength you never learned to wield, not better. Just heavier. You see through people. You feel alone because of it. That is not weakness. That is strength you never learned to wield. You grow up believing strength looks loud. Confident smiles. Easy friends. Endless energy. But inside, you feel restrained, observant, cautious. You think something is wrong with you. You are broken. Sigmund Freud would disagree. Freud said the strongest minds operate below the surface. Silent, controlled, dangerous when ignored. Most people numb themselves. You analyze, most people react. You pause. And that pause feels like isolation. It feels like weakness. But what if that discomfort is evidence? Evidence you are operating on a higher psychological layer? Mental weakness is not emotional pain. Mental weakness is unconscious behavior. Your suffering is not a flaw. It is a strategic error in interpretation. You mistake restraint for fragility. You mistake depth for damage. Today, that ends. Sign 1. You are calm under emotional fire. You do not panic. You do not flinch. When emotions explode, you go quiet. That silence is misread. They think you are weak. They think you are overwhelmed. They are wrong. Freud called this ego strength. The ability to regulate instinct under pressure. Others scream. You observe. Others bleed emotion. You cauterize. You are a lion among hyenas. Still while they shriek. Stop explaining yourself during emotional attacks. Slow your breath deliberately. Let silence expose instability. Count to 3. Watch what happens. They reveal themselves. If silence is your shield, distance is your blade. Sign 2. You are comfortable with distance. You don't chase. You don't cling. You don't beg. This terrifies people. Why? Because distance creates information asymmetry. They don't know what you feel. They don't know what you plan. That uncertainty destabilizes weak minds. Freud warned about covert contracts, unspoken emotional trades. Others give affection to receive control. You refuse the transaction. You operate free. Withdraw attention when disrespected. Maintain emotional ambiguity. Let others fill silence with assumptions. Ask yourself this question. Who feels more pressure right now? Distance protects you, but solitude sharpens you. Sign 3. You grow stronger in solitude. Loneliness breaks most people. It refines you. When alone, you think. You integrate. You confront your shadow. Freud called this shadow integration, facing the parts others repress. You don't distract yourself endlessly. You sit with discomfort. That is surgical discipline. Wolves hunt alone before they lead packs. Schedule deliberate solitude. Journal your darkest thoughts. Convert anxiety into strategy. Do not escape the room. Command it. Solitude builds control. Control reveals truth. Sign 4. You see through social games. You notice patterns, power plays, emotional traps, compliments with hooks, anger with agendas. You feel it instantly. That is cognitive dissonance detection. Your mind rejects false narratives. Others play roles. You read scripts. Foxes recognize snares before prey feels teeth. Observe tone over words. Track inconsistencies. Never react immediately. Pause. Let them expose intent. Seeing gains is power. Refusing them is dominance. Sign 5. You do not need validation. Approval doesn't feed you. It weakens others. Freud tied validation hunger to unresolved identity. You already know who you are. That certainty unsettles people. Predators prefer prey who doubts. You don't. Say less about your plans. Detach from praise. Measure yourself internally. Ask yourself this. Who controls who right now? Validation immunity scares manipulators. That's why they test you. 5 signs exposed. 4. Remain. The next sign explains why people project onto you, why they blame you, why they try to dominate you. Stay with me. This is where power becomes visible. Sign 6. People project their shadow onto you. You notice something strange. People accuse you of things you never do. Cold, arrogant, manipulative. You hear it again and again. This is not coincidence. This is projection. Freud identified projection as a defense mechanism. People eject what they cannot face internally. They feel weak. They sense your composure. Their mind panics. So they paint you as the villain. Predators snarl when mirrors appear. Hyenas scream when lions stay silent. You trigger their shadow because you carry yours consciously. Do not defend against false accusations. Let projections hang in the air. Watch who grows louder. Ask yourself this question. Who is actually exposed right now? Projection is noise. Your next trait is immunity. Sign 7. Emotional manipulation fails on you. Guilt doesn't hook you. Fear doesn't rush you. Anger doesn't move you. Others feel emotions like weather. You feel them like data. This is emotional regulation under threat, a battlefield skill. Manipulators rely on reflex. They poke until prey jumps. You don't jump, you analyze. That delay is lethal to control attempts. A fox survives by reading traps. You survive by delay every emotional response. Label emotions internally. Respond only after calm returns. Count to 3. Then choose. Immunity creates leverage. Leverage creates fear. Sign 8. Your patience terrifies others. You wait. You don't rush outcomes. You don't chase closure. This confuses weak minds. Why? Because patience signals abundance of power. You are not desperate. You are not reactive. Freud understood delayed gratification as mature psyche. Children demand. Adults calculate. Predators rush prey. Strategists starve enemies slowly. Delay responses intentionally. Allow tension to grow. Ask yourself this. Who feels pressure first? Patience is silent dominance. But the final sign is dangerous. Sign 9. You attract attacks without seeking conflict. This is the hardest truth. Strong minds become targets. Not because they provoke, but because they disrupt hierarchies. Your presence destabilizes fragile authority. Your calm threatens false leaders. Freud warned that groups attack what exposes them. Wolves test the quiet lion. Hyenas circle strength they don't understand. You feel this instinctively. Sudden disrespect. Unprovoked hostility. Passive aggression. This is not bad luck. This is status threat response. Do not retaliate emotionally. Document patterns quietly. Strike only when necessary. Silence first. Precision later. Now you understand the signs. Next comes synthesis. You are not broken. You are untrained power. Your restraint is mistaken for weakness. Your silence mistaken for fear. Your depth mistaken for damage. That misunderstanding is dangerous. For them and for you. Because unclaimed strength attracts predators. If you do nothing, you remain misunderstood. Exploited. Targeted. But if you accept this truth, if you sharpen awareness into strategy, you become untouchable, controlled, sovereign, calm under fire. This is not motivation. This is diagnosis. The hidden cost of mental strength. You don't just carry strength. You carry weight. Mental strength is not loud confidence. It is burden tolerance. You see too much. You notice too early. You predict outcomes others walk blindly into. That awareness isolates you. Freud warned that insight creates alienation. When you see unconscious drives, you cannot unsee them. You watch people sabotage themselves. You watch lies stabilize fragile egos. You watch crowds worship illusions, and you stay quiet. That restraint is discipline. But discipline without strategy becomes self-harm. This section is where restraint becomes command. Why strong minds feel misunderstood. You don't speak in emotional shortcuts. Others do. You don't chase validation. Others starve without it. You don't leak intention. Others broadcast weakness. This creates psychological distance. People mistake difference for threat. Threat triggers defense. Defense triggers hostility. This is not personal. This is evolutionary. Prey fears what it cannot predict. Predators test what they cannot dominate. You exist outside both categories. That makes you dangerous. The silent error strong people make. Here is the trap. You assume others operate with your depth. They don't. You assume fairness. They assume leverage. You assume logic. They assume advantage. Freud called this false consensus bias. Projecting your integrity onto others. This error costs you respect. It costs you boundaries. It costs you power. Mental strength must be visible to protect itself, not loud, not aggressive, but unmistakable. How to signal strength without exposure. Strength signaling is subtle. Predators don't announce force. They move efficiently. You do the same. Tactical signals speak last. Move slower than others. End conversations first. Maintain eye contact without smiling. These cues trigger unconscious recalibration. People adjust behavior instinctively. Ask yourself this. Who just shifted posture? The role of shadow in authority. You have darkness. Everyone does. The weak repress it. The strong integrate it. Freud believed shadow denial creates neurosis. Shadow integration creates stability. You know you could manipulate. You choose restraint. That choice is power. Lion does not prove strength by killing constantly. It proves it by not needing to. Acknowledge your capacity for harm internally. Never perform morality for approval. Use restraint as leverage. This balance is sovereignty. Why people test you repeatedly. You notice patterns. People push boundaries. They provoke reactions. They disrespect subtly. Animals test dominance hierarchies constantly. Humans do it socially. They are asking one question. Can I get away with this? Silence alone is not enough. This must be paired with consequence. Address disrespect once. Calmly withdraw access immediately. Never explain twice. Mental strength vs emotional armor. Choice. You still. Numbness is collapse. Control is choice. You still feel anger. You still feel desire. You still feel fear. Simply decide. Freud described this as ego supremacy. You don't suppress emotion. You weaponize timing. That is mastery. The final reality. Power attracts isolation. This truth is unavoidable. The stronger you become, the fewer people remain. Not because you reject them. They disqualify themselves. Some envy, some fear, some resent. That solitude is not punishment. It is filtration. Wolves don't travel with sheep. Lions don't seek applause. You trade numbers for clarity. And clarity is freedom. You are not mentally strong by accident. Your calm under pressure. Your resistance to manipulation. Your comfort with silence. Your patience. Your solitude. These are not flaws. They are untrained weapons. If you ignore them, others will try to use you. If you understand them, no one will. This is not about domination. This is about sovereignty. You don't control others. You control yourself. And that terrifies the world. If this video described you accurately, you already know the truth. You are not weak. You are early. Subscribe now. This channel is for minds that refuse sedation. Comment below. Write this exactly. I move in silence. Then watch how differently people treat you.